Hello friends, welcome to the channel. In today's video, we are diving deep into one of the most exciting features introduced in Java 1.8, Lambda expression. Actually, they revolutionized the way we write code, making it more concise and enabling functional programming. Let's get started by understanding what exactly a Lambda is and why it is important for Java developers. Now, let's see key components of Lambdas. Now, let's break down the core components of a Lambda expression. At its heart, a Lambda has three key components: parameters, the arrow operators, and the body. Uh, think of it as a shortcut for writing methods. Instead of creating a full method with a name and return type, you can write it in line with just the essentials. This reduces code clutter and makes things more readable. So, how do Lambda fit into the rest of Java? Let's understand it in the next slide. Well, the Lambda expressions work hand in hand with functional interface. Now, what is functional interface? So, functional interface is an interface that has only one abstract method, and this is key for lambdas to work. Now, some of the most common functional interface you will encounter are predicate, functions, consumer, and supplier. So now one main thing there is one functional interface. This is one annotation uh, which we use while creating a functional interface. So it makes sure, or you can say, it ensures the interface has exactly one abstract method. Now let's move to the next slide to understand the benefit of lambdas. It's very important to understand the benefit of lambda. Let's jump to the next slide. Okay, so till now we have understand what is lambda expression. Now we are going to understand why use lambdas at all. Here are a few big benefits. First, conciseness. By using lambdas, we cut down a tons of boilerplate code. Now, second one is readability. Code becomes more expressive and declarative, letting us focus on what the code does rather than how. They also enable functional programming, which is a powerful paradigm which functions are treated as first class citizens. So, these are some major benefits of using lambda. So, reiterating it, like conciseness, improved readability, encourage functional programming, stream API integration, like it's work seamlessly with a new stream API. Okay, so now let's understand the various variations of lambda syntax. Lambdas are flexible when it comes to syntax. Here are a few variations you might come across. For instance, you can have lambdas with no parameter, one parameter, or multiple parameters. You can also have lambdas with single line expressions or block of code. Keep these patterns in mind as they make lambdas very versatile. Next, let's talk about lambda scope. Lambdas can access variable from their enclosing scope, but there is a catch here. Those variables must be either final or effectively final. Also, remember that lambdas don't have their own local variables, so no variable reassignment can be done here. This helps avoid side effects and keeps lambdas predictable. So let's move to the next slide. So friends, now this topic is going to be very interesting because now we are going to combining lambdas with stream API. In Java 8, actually stream allow us to process sequence of elements in a functional style, and using lambdas we can easily chain operations like filter, map, and reduce, all in a declarative and readable way. This example shows how easily it is to filter a list with a lambda. I hope you understand my point. Now let's jump onto the next point or next slide. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about method reference. So they are a shorthand for a lambdas that call existing methods. I'm talking about the method reference, which is a shorthand for lambdas that call a existing method. You can reference static method, instance instance method, and event constructor with this format. So whenever you see an opportunity to simplify your lambdas, method references are a great tool to keep your code clean. So these are the syntax and the types of method references like static method reference, instance method reference, and constructor reference. So let's move to the next slide. So let's understand some common use cases for using lambda. I mean to say, like where we can use lambdas in our code. Some of the most common use cases include sorting collections, handling events in GUIs, and iterating over collections. Each of these examples showcases how lambdas streamline operations that would otherwise require more verbose code. Okay, now understand the best practices of it. I mean, while writing lambdas, so we need to keep these points in our mind. So, first is keep lambdas short and concise. Use functional interface with functional interface. Uh, Prefer method references where applicable. Avoid complex logic within lambdas. Keep it as simple as possible. Use lambdas with stream for functional style processing. So these are some best practices which we can follow in our daily to daily code writing. So it's make our code very concise, readable, and maintainable. Now uh, jump to the next slide to discuss another point of it. Now, friends, let's understand the performance considerations. So, you might be wondering about performance. In general, lambdas perform similar to anonymous inner classes, but there is a slight overhead when the lambda is first created. Also, watch out for the captured variables. Be sure not to accidentally cause memory leak by holding onto unnecessary references. Now let's move to the next slide. So in this topic, we will differentiate lambda and anonymous inner classes. So let's compare lambda with anonymous inner classes. Both serve similar purpose, but lambdas are much more lightweight. No extra class files are generated. Plus, lambdas are way more concise, as you can see from the syntax comparison. This shift in style helps developers focus on writing better and more effective code. So friend, now we have reached to the end of this video. Uh, I covered everything from syntax to use cases and best practices. Now, if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icons for more deep dive into Java and beyond. Stay tuned for more content on Java, DevOps, and AWS. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much.